Okay, good day Saint Lucy and Saint Rita. Today we will be discussing the roots of quadratic equations. So let's define if A, B, and C are real numbers and D equals B squared minus 4AC, then the roots of the quadratic equation AX squared plus BX plus C equals 0 are the following. So the discriminants provides the information regarding the roots of quadratic equations. The first root, if the discriminant, the symbol for discriminant is capital letter D. So if D is greater than 0, then the roots are real and unequal. If the discriminant is 0, the roots are real and equal. And number 3, if the discriminant is less than 0, the roots are imaginary and unequal. Moreover, the roots are rational if the discriminant is a perfect square and irrational if it's not a perfect square. So let's take a look for the examples given. Determine the nature of the roots of each equation. So number 1, we will solve number 1. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. Before we proceed to the solution of this problem, see to it that the quadratic equation is expressed in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c. Kapag hindi naka-arrange na ganyan, we need to arrange that in this form. Okay? So, if the quadratic equation is arranged in quadratic equation, first we need to identify the values of A, B, and C. So, what would be the value of the first term? So, this is our first term, x squared. The second term is negative 6x. And the third term is 9, or C. Okay, so our A is 1. Why 1? Any variable that doesn't have a number, there is an invisible one beside that variable. Kapag nakita niyo yung walang number doon, variable lang. So there is always one na numerical coefficient for that. For letter B, we have negative 6x. So the numerical coefficient is negative 6. So negative 6 yan. And for C, the constant term is 9. After identifying the values of A, B, and C, we will now use the formula of the discriminant. D equals B squared minus 4AC. So the discriminant equals, we will substitute the obtained values for our quadratic equation. The value of B is negative 6 raised to 2 minus 4 times the value of A is 1 and the value of C is 9. Okay, then we will evaluate. What would be the square of negative 6? So that gives us 36 minus the product of 4, 1, and 9. 4 times 1 is 4, times 9 is 36. So what is now 36 minus 36? So the result would be 0. So the value of our discriminant is 0. And what would be the roots of this equation? Since the discriminant is 0, okay, number 2 po siya, the roots would be real and equal. Okay, so that's the value of our first problem. So the discriminant is 0 and the roots are real and equal. Okay, so let's take a look for the second example. Okay, our second example is x squared plus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Aside sa the while back, tignan natin kung yung ating equation ay naka-arrange in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c. So, the equation is in its standard form. Then, we will now identify the values of a, b, and c. So, the value of a is 1 kasi variable lang po siya. May invisible 1 po dyan na kasama ng ating variable. And our B is positive 6 and the value of C is 5. Okay, so after identifying the values of A, B, and C, we will now use the formula of the discriminant. D equals B squared minus 4AC. So let's evaluate by substituting the obtained values from our equation. The value of B is 6 raised to 2 minus 4 times the value of A is 1 and the value of C is 5. Okay, so we have now the square of 6 is 36 4 times 1 is 4, times 5 will give us 20. So since this is subtraction, so we have minus 20. Therefore, the difference of 36 and 20 is 16. Okay? So the discriminant for equation number 2 is 16. So as you can see, 16 is a perfect square number. So makikita natin dyan, if the discriminant is a perfect square number, means to say that is a rational. So since discriminant is greater than 0, okay, so number 1 po tayo, then the roots of this would be real, and at the same time, unequal. So yun po yung sasagot natin. The discriminant, tapos titignan natin yung sagot natin dito sa mga classifications ng roots ng ating quadratic equation. So yung sa una kanina, the discriminant is 0, therefore the roots are real and equal. Since the second problem, the discriminant is greater than 0, the roots are real and unequal. And as you observe, the discriminant is a perfect square number, therefore this is also rational. Okay? So another example, we have number 3. Okay? So for number 3, we have 2x squared minus 4x plus 5 is equal to 0. Okay? Same process. Titignan natin kung naka-standard form po siya. Okay? This time, meron tayong nakikitang number beside doon sa variable x squared, our first term. So ganun pa rin, we need to identify the values of a, b, and c. So the value of A is 2. This time 2 na po yan. For B, okay, so we have negative 4. And for C is 5. So the formula, discriminant equals B squared minus 4AC. Okay, so substitute natin. The value of B is negative 4 raised to 2 minus 4 times A is 2 and times C is 5. Okay, so the square of negative 4 is 16. Then we have 4 times 2, 8 times 5 will give us 40. Okay, what is now the difference between 16 and 40? So it will give us a negative 24. Okay, so take note. Negative po yung ating discriminant. So if the discriminant is negative or less than 0, therefore, the roots would be imaginary and unequal. Okay, kukunin lang natin yung roots dito sa ating descriptions dyan. Since the discriminant is negative 24 and negative 24 is less than 0, so number 3 po tayo, and the roots would be imaginary and unequal. Okay? So this is the solution for example number 3. Okay, so for the last example, we have number 4. Okay. So number 4, we have 5x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so same procedure. Take a look with the equation if it's in standard form. Otherwise, we need to arrange it in its standard form. So since the equation number 4 is in its standard form, let's proceed now to the in identifying the values of A, B, and C. Okay, so our A is 5. Letter B, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kapag variable lang na nakikita natin, ang numerical coefficient po niyan ay 1. Since naka-negative sign po tayo, therefore, the value of B is also negative 1. And our constant term, we have negative 2 as the value of our C. Then proceed to the discriminant formula, B squared minus 4AC. Okay, substitute natin. The value of B is negative 1 raised to 2 minus 4 times 5 times negative 2. So we have now here the square of negative 1 is positive 1. Okay, negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 times negative 2 will give us positive 40. Take note, if we are multiplying same sign, most especially if that is both negative, if we multiply that, the result of the sign of their product would be positive. So therefore, we have discriminant 1 plus 40 will give us positive 41. So the discriminant is positive 41, and that is greater than 0. So if the discriminant is greater than 0, dun sa classification natin, magtukol siya sa number 1. So therefore, the roots of 41 of this equation would be real and unequal. Okay, so that's how we do the, how we identify the roots of quadratic equations. We are going to use the discriminant and refer your roots on the given classifications. Okay, so my dear Saint Lucy and Saint Rita, thank you for watching.